Hey, welcome everybody to the lending report for week ending June 13th, 2025. Sorry, I did not report anything last week. It was jobs week, so we'll cover all of that today because there wasn't much activity this week. Still a volatile market though for interest rates, but last week, bigger week than this week with the jobs reports. We'll start with mortgage applications. Purchases up 10% in terms of activity. Refinance is up 16%. So despite the volatility of interest rates, we are still seeing a lot of interest and activity out there in the housing market. Those looking to either refinance or purchase at this time. Jobless claims, those filing for the first time. This has been interesting. The initial for the prior week that I missed was up 8,000. Then continuing, there was no change. But I'm going to show you a chart after my charts for the job markets for ADP and BLS. Some interesting trending in the continuing claims for you. Also, we got the home price insights, and it did show that on average, most people have about $212,000 in equity in their home. That'd be a bit more for Colorado just because our average price point is over $600,000, leaning heavily towards $700,000 at this point. So even with those people interested in refinancing, if they pull out equity from their homes, they'll still have 20% equity in their home because they can go up to 80% and tap out some of that money in their home, pay off some debts, and put themselves in a better financial position. So that's why we're probably seeing a lot of that activity right now in the refinance market at this point. Now, first this week we did get the JOLT report. Did show there's went from 7.2 million job creations to 7.4 million. Nothing too dramatic there. Wasn't a lot of reaction to that, but the JOLT report doesn't get a lot of activity. Then we did get the ADP report, and I will show you some slides from here. ADP was pretty much in line with expectations. Wasn't a lot of shock there. We came in at 137,000 versus 115,000. Not too drastic. The ADP has probably been the most reliable jobs creation report for us, but it does not take into account government jobs. So just know that these are non-government jobs. The BLS report does report government. So I'm going to show you some interesting stats between these numbers when we consider the difference that ADP does not report government jobs and BLS does. So here you can see most of the job creations coming from leisure and hospitality, and most of the job creations in the medium business sector. So not the large corporations we're seeing pull back from job creations, as well as the smaller businesses. So most of that, I want to say the median business is 50 to 500 employees, if I'm not mistaken. That might be a little high on the high end there, but starts at 50. So smaller businesses. But leisure and hospitality driving the job creations in the ADP report. Then where the jobs came from here and the business establishment survey, it's a different part of the report showing mostly from healthcare at 62,000 positions, leisure and hospitality at 48,000, and social assistance at 16,000. And then the household surveys then this is from the BLS report, I should say. Looks like I might have inadvertently deleted my BLS slide. Sorry, because the BLS report, huge difference. Again, very, very dramatic change in the job creations. There's about $100,000 job creation difference between the AD report and the BLS report. And when you consider the fact that in the BLS report, if we go back to this slide right here where it shows where job creations are, notice none of these are government jobs. So in that BLS report, when I showed the job creations being dramatically higher than what the expectations were, bear in mind that only about 2% of those job creations came from government jobs. So there's about a $100,000 job creation difference between the ADP and the BLS report. So where are those jobs supposedly, where is that difference coming from in those two different reports? Doesn't make a lot of sense, really, to be honest. So also here, what we're seeing, household survey, the unemployment, the it was at 4.2%, shows to be unchanged, but that's because we had as many people leaving the job force that weren't counted in the unemployment number. So again, look at this number at the bottom here, full-time positions, a loss of 623,000 jobs. That's huge. So that suggests that we're seeing more job creations coming from part-time work. And I went out to some of the job sites. I looked at monster.com. I looked at which one is it? ZipRecruiter. That's it. If you look at the jobs out there, there are several that are basically the same job with different employers, just showing different location. And all of these jobs, a lot of the full-time jobs are specialty jobs. You're talking about doctors, you're talking about therapists, things like that. There's not a lot of random kind of miscellaneous jobs, starter jobs for people out there that are full-time in this market at this time, unfortunately. So very interesting what we're seeing right now. Now let's take a look at the MBS charts. Let me show you where the activity has been this week. You can see that we are down today. We had a huge drop at the end of last week, made hardly any ground up the start of this week, then a little bit between Wednesday and Thursday, and we're losing it a bit today. And that's a result of the conflict in the Middle East right now. There's some speculation that we could see changes in oil prices due to the recent raids, military activity out there. So this is what's changing the market right now for us with interest rates. So rates have gone up twice today where we're at right now. So that's where we're at. Let me know if you have any questions. I do appreciate you watching my videos. If you are interested in purchasing or refinancing, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Otherwise, to all those dads out there, happy Father's Day. I hope your loved ones take care of you this weekend and that it's a good weekend for everybody. See you later.